Hi and welcome to another Yin Yoga practice. Today we're going to give a break to our hips and knees. Usually in Yin Yoga it's quite common to focus on those areas because all the poses or majority of the poses that we practice were seated. Today we're going to be working more towards the upper body, where we'll be stimulating the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, the chest. So for this practice you will need a block, so please have it with you. If you don't have a block, maybe a thick book or hard pillow or a cushion. They help you to support your elbows in one of the modifications of child pose that we will practice today. So once you have that with you, start making your way to your mat, closing your eyes, joining me in this class today, in this practice that will help us to increase the mobility around the shoulders and the upper body in general, the neck, the upper back, the front and the back of the shoulders, the arms, which is a part of the body that we usually, it's not very common that we stimulate in Yin practices. Placing the intention of letting go everything that you don't need for the practice, everything that has happened till now. Hopefully you are in a space when you can be quiet, you can be in silence by yourself with no distractions around. It's a more or less 45 minutes practice. 45 minutes to dedicate to ourselves, to use the poses to come inwards. We will start feeling our body grounded on the floor, heavy and relaxed. Concentrating on our breathing, regular natural breathing. See the effect of the inhalation and the exhalation in our belly, in our chest. Perhaps feeling the temperature of that air when it comes in and when it comes out. Placing the intention in your heart to find the variations and modifications that work for you, that makes the asana feels effective in your body, in that space where it's not too much, but also it's not too little. It's just the right space and the right place for you to get the benefits, the physical benefits, and also to start going deeper and deeper into your energetic layers. A few more breaths here, connecting with the world within. Softly and gently blinking your eyes open. We will come into our fours, into this tabletop position, to start lengthening and stretching our wrist. So the first stretch, we will do it in different directions. So the first one that we will do, our fingers are pointing forward. So keeping our hands below our shoulders, so we will keep that alignment, and we start shifting our body weight forward. As far forward as it feels good, not necessarily easy. Start feeling where the asana enters the body, touches your tissues, and then you can hold this compression in the front of your wrist for 2 minutes. Trying to keep your spine in a neutral position, so we are not dropping the belly, we are not hunching the spine, it's just a neutral position. but your body weight is moving forward. Using your legs in a more active way, of course, you're not hanging there. And keeping your eyes either closed or facing down, so looking down to have a straight line in your neck as well. As I said at the beginning, usually this is a part of the body that we don't normally regularly stimulate in a yin practice. So why not given this option today? We work with our hands every day, all day long. So it's very important to keep these tissues also healthy and moisturized, mobile, resilient. We have only about 20 seconds to go, so stay with me. And mindfully start shifting your body weight back until you find your hips resting on your heels and releasing your hands. Let's avoid like very dynamic active movements. I have noticed that especially in classes such as vinyasa, and we do these kind of stretches, we hold these stretches to let go. People invite students to shake their hands. From the yin perspective, we want to avoid going from a yin stimulus to a yang stimulus so quick. So just rest your hands and observe how they feel in this more neutral position before we go into a different direction. Good. So start coming back into tabletop. Let me start the time. This variation, we place the fingers facing to our legs. So we go on the other direction. And now we start again shifting our body weight, this time back. So we are stimulating the in a different way, in a more placing more the effort on the opposite side of the arms. Always compressing the torso of the hands, but this time concentrated on the stretch of the tissues that are opposite to the torso of the hands. Usually these are stretches that we are not used to do, so you may feel some weird sensations there. As long as you don't feel any pain, and also you can control how far back you will shift your body weight. The more you let go the weight, the greater the stress. So please regulate what you're feeling right now and then stay there in stillness. Relax in the shoulders. Relax in the chest, keeping your spine as neutral as possible. Keeping your eyes on the floor so you maintain that the straight line in the back of your head. And softly we're gonna let go, very gently, coming back to sit, to neutralize. We will do one last stretch that for some of us, let me just stop the time here. This one in particular, I don't feel quite happy in this one, but it is needed as well. So now we're going to place the torso of the hand on the floor. Be very mindful, and and then we're going to start shifting the body weight back. So find that position that feels okay-ish. I don't think I would have said that you will feel fine and comfortable here. Maybe you do, definitely I don't. I may look weird, actually. It's okay, as long as I'm feeling what I'm feeling. So planting the torso of your hands as gracefully as you can. I'm sure I don't look graceful right now, but it's okay. It's not how it looks, it's how it feels. So the body weight is going back, giving some compression in one side and some lengthening on the other side. So needed, especially when you work in using the computer all day with these new online jobs that we have from home. A lot of us spend way too many hours using our hands, typing, writing, so we have to give them some love. We have about 40 seconds to go. I promise this is the last wrist stretch that we do for today. A few more moments to go here before we let go. Nice, gingerly, tenderly. Release the pose. Good. And rest the hands in a neutral position. Just observe everything that you're feeling there. A lot of things are happening. Good. No more stretches in our hands. Let's move into our arms. So we will do a child pose with the knees wider. So we will still work on the hips, but it's not the target area today. So we will have a little bit more space. So open your knees as wide as the mat and keeping your hips on top of your heels. Let's start moving to the front of the mat. We will do this child pose with a twist. So let me just start the timer here so I can see it. So we will bring the left leg, the left hand in between, resting as much as we can, the shoulder on the floor, the left ear on the floor. And let's keep the right hand active. So your arm is, the elbow is off the floor. We are working on these lines of fascia that we have in the arms and the chest and the shoulders. So let's use every asana as efficiently as possible. We will be here for about 2 minutes. You can close your eyes. I'm not moving from here. This is the shape that I will have for the rest of the time. Enjoying the compression that we have in the front of the left shoulder, in the back, the stretch of the back shoulder, everything that is happening on the right shoulder, sinking heavier, allowing the body to rest, allowing gravity to pull us down. Connecting with that internal space where you find yourself. And softly we start releasing the pose, stopping in the center, perhaps making a pillow with your hands, observing how you feel in the center before moving into the other side. Good. So let's start our timer, 2 minutes in the clock. Extending your left arm and threading your right arm in between, resting as much as you can your shoulders, keeping your right ear on the floor. Eyes are closed. Body is relaxed. Your left elbow is off the floor. So we keep working on the left shoulder as well. Your right shoulder doesn't make it to the floor, doesn't matter. That is the space that we have to keep moving deeper and deeper into the pose. And if you're there, enjoy the pressure of the floor against your shoulder. Have a few more moments in the pose, observing how our body feels. Perhaps it feels different than when we enter the pose. Nice. Gently start releasing the arm, making a pillow with your hands, resting your forehead on the floor, and only see and observe what is happening here. We're gonna give a break to our hips, so bring your knees together. Lift your chest up, coming into this transitional pose for a moment, Antler pose, because we have another child pose to do with the block. So we will rest in Antler pose for a moment. Good. Let's come to a tabletop for a moment. Make sure that your block is close to you, because actually our elbows are going to land on the block. So let's see how it goes. It's a proposal. It may work, it may not. Let's see how your body responds today. So basically the block is for the elbows. So we're gonna be in child pose. You can decide depending on what is happening with your hips. Remember, this is not the area that we're aiming to target today, but of course they are working because of the positions that we're doing. So we will have our legs into child pose. Our elbows will going to be here, your palms in pray position. So let me get into the pose. I will go back to the wide knee child pose. And you may take some time to get into the pose. You need to measure how close the block needs to be. Ideally that you have some space for your head to go in between your arms and the block. Let's see. The idea is that we start lengthening and stretching all the posterior part of our upper body. So we want to have the elbows on the block, but avoiding to lift the heels. So we want to have the heels sinking down on the hips sinking down on the heels, but bringing the elbows on top of the block, and then using this as a leverage, as a height to increase the work of the gravity on pulling our arms down. So I think this is a little too close for me. There you go. Perfect. Your head in between, palms in a pray position, and just let your head, your chest, your torso to hang heavy all the way down to the floor. Some of you will be closer to the floor than I am. Some of you will be farther away. Everybody's in different positions with different bodies, different ranges of movement. As long as we are all getting what we need to get from the pose, is the pose for us. You will be here in this not so comfy pose for about 3 minutes. So let's get comfortable in the discomfort. Few more moments to go here. Three minutes are gone. So softly releasing your hands to the front, just to remove the block and come back to child pose. Dropping your forehead on the floor, resting your elbows down. Maybe your hands closer to you, and see how you feel when we let go of those stretches and compression that we were doing in different areas of our arms. Good. Start coming all the way back up. Closing your knees if you were practicing the same version of child pose that I was practicing, and let's free our ankles and our knees from this position. So we will move all the way down to the floor, coming into either, here we have the option to be either in Sphinx position when you keep your elbows aligned with your shoulders. That is option 1. So we're working with the upper body, but changing the position of the arms. So this is option 1, palms together. That works better for majority of us. Or we can come into seal pose, which is placing your hands in the corners of the mat and then lifting your chest. Glutes are soft, legs are relaxed. The neck can be aligned with the rest of the spine. You can feel good if you drop your head down. Some of us don't feel very happy there, so I keep my head aligned. I always say that when I practice this pose, because somehow people believe that you have to drop the head. We're not working on the cervical spine so you can keep it active. We're compressing the posterior part of the lumbar spine, closing the back to open up the front. It's quite common to use words in the yoga world that only express flexibility and elongation and length. But for that to happen, we need the opposite. We need to compress, contract, strengthen. So don't be afraid of using or hearing those words as well. We're halfway the pose. So you can choose to either stay in the same position or you can change to the other version, either from seal to Sphinx or the other way around. And try to move as little as possible. Feel with each time, with each second that pass by, your body enters a different dimension. Maybe the asana starts touching different places in your body. And we surrender to that. We let go, we soften to that. Good, time is over. So let's start wherever you are, moving your head all the way down, making a pillow with your hands, resting your forehead on the floor. Pause in here. Observing how your lower back, your shoulders feel at this moment. We will continue working with the shoulders. So make sure that your block is not in the way. We will need it again at the end of the class. We will do a pose that the names tend to be quite scary, but either you can see it as a chest stretch or broken wind. So to do that pose, we're going to do a T position. So place your hands in a T position. Some people like to practice it also with cactus arms. So see which variation works better for you. So once you have that position with the arms, we're going to bend the right knee. Using the right hand, we'll start moving towards the left side. So placing perhaps your right foot behind, planting the soles of your right foot on the floor. Let me just have this here. So this is, and we stay here, supported by the right hand. You can bend both knees and bring both knees to the side. This stress in a gentle way your left shoulder, or you can keep your right foot behind you, extending your left leg. So choose the variation of the legs because that will change the degree of the stress in your shoulder. So the right hand is only for support. So we are not actively pushing or pressing our body in any direction. It's just for support, so you are more stable. And then close the eyes. Enjoy that stretch in the anterior part of the shoulder. We are about to release so very gently, mindfully, moving slower than you think you should move. We start bringing our body back onto our belly very softly. Your left arm, your left shoulder is in a very tender position, making a pillow with both arms and resting your head. Observing your shoulder, your elbow, the front of your chest before moving on to the other side. So we will move either in the same variation or maybe in a different one. So cactus arms, or extending the right arm out, keeping your right hand aligned with the shoulder, and now using the left arm to start shifting your body weight to the right, flexing the left knee, keeping your left foot on the floor or bending both knees. So any variation that you choose, depending on how you feel the pose in this side. Not necessarily both sides are the same, so it's not necessarily true that we need to do exactly the same in both sides. See how you feel here. My right shoulder is tighter than my left, and it has a lesser range of motion, so sometimes I need to do different things for both. Again, your left hand is there for support. And our work is to relax the area that we are targeting, in this case the right shoulder. So that area is soft, the top of the chest is relaxed, everything else is more engaged to help us to support the shape that we are in this moment. "30 seconds to enjoy the silence of the remaining time and the remaining stretch that we're getting in this pose." Good. Start bringing your body down onto the mat again, very softly, gingerly taking care of your right shoulder, making a pillow with your hands, and pause. Let's go back to a child pose. Very mindfully coming up, keeping your knees together. This time we're going to round the spine and we're going to bring the arms behind us, releasing, relaxing the shoulders. We're not applying any tension, any compression, any stress in the shoulders. Let them rest.
few more moments in this very soothing pose, at least for me. It's very soothing, very calming. And start bringing our body all the way up.
Locating your block. We're gonna use the block for the last pose, or the cushion that you have is going to support the middle part of our back, the part in between the two scapulae. So we're gonna bring that block. I'm gonna place it here so you can see it easily. So it's in a horizontal way. I'm going to support my back there to do a fish pose. I hope your block is not as hard as mine and you can feel comfortable there. So bring your body all the way down to the floor with your legs. You can choose, either you can extend your legs or you can have them in a diamond shape. What we are aiming to work today is our upper body, especially the shoulders, the arms. So make sure that it is in between the shoulder blades, and then we let go. The arms and the head. The head goes all the way down to the floor. Let me just move my hair out of the way. There you go. Relax in the arms. You can place them on the belly or along your body. I like to keep them more, especially when I'm working on the upper body stretches, I like to keep them more aligned with the shoulders. That increases the stretch in the anterior part of the torso. So head is resting on the floor. Remember, we're using the prop only to lift our chest up. And we feel heavier and heavier with every moment that passes, with every second that we are in supported fish pose. This is not the resting pose yet. From here we will go to the last one, but we still have almost a minute to enjoy this relaxation, this stretch. The compression also that I feel in between my shoulder blades feels good. Using your hands, if your knees are in a diamond shape, to bring your knees together. We're going to roll onto one side, only to let go of the block. So roll onto one side to remove the block. And we will land back into our back, coming into our last pose. Pentacle pose is a pose that I like to use sometimes instead of Shavasana. Let me just find my way to the mat. So we will open our legs wider than we normally open them for Shavasana, allowing the toes to be heavy. And then the arms, we can keep the arms aligned with the shoulder or maybe a little bit higher to make sure that your blood is not in the way. So I'm gonna keep them higher. So you make your body like a star shape, pentacle posture, and let go. Release, relax, dissolve, melt down. Use any word, any mental image that will help you to let go and to relax for a few minutes here. Remember, you have options for your arms, so please place your arms wherever they feel comfortable. And once you have found the place, just commit to stillness. Surrender to the pose. Let go. As I always invite you to stay longer if you can, please do it today. And if not, if you need to go back to your routine, so let's start coming out of the pose by wiggling the toes and the fingers. Bringing your legs together, standing and stretching your body to awaken all the muscles around, bending your knees, dropping them to one side. Using your hands to come back to a comfortable seated position. Landing back into a more yang energy, kind of like connecting to what is out there. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope I had brought some new ideas of how to use the poses to get benefits for other parts of your body as well. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will meet you back here with another practice of Yin Yoga. Thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed this class. If so, please let me know by clicking the like button down below and subscribing to this channel. Also, remember to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new video that I post every week. And if you have any request or any comment, any question about Yin Yoga and functional anatomy, leave me a comment below this video and I will be happy to reply and to create content about it. Thank you so much, and I will see you very soon.